Hello, this is Alpha, and we are doing a video today on the Palworld controversy with Nintendo, which is a pretty interesting controversy indeed. We're going to do this the backdrop of Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, this is the PC version. It's not the remake because I'm not buying another version of this game when this game is just fine. So, and plus, I've heard a lot of crazy things around the remake, so we're just going to do the original version, which is probably the best version. Probably just run around and beat stuff up is what we're going to do. But the allegations in the news today is that the Nintendo patent lawsuit could be tipped in Palworld's favor by a GTA mod from 8 years ago. Now, my personal opinions on this is that the idea that patenting the mechanics on throwing a ball is logically absurd because you're attempting to claim providence over a natural process, which is at face value unpatentable and superficially is a ridiculous claim to make. It's like someone trying to claim you can trying to trademark the word Game Awards because nobody else could ever possibly use that combination of words in existence because I guess it's idiocracy logic or something. But the article is by Amber V from Automation News, which I assume is a blogging site. So let's see what this person has to say about it. Earlier this month, Pocketpeer publicly revealed some details of the patent infringement lawsuit filed by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, including specific patents in their hit survival game Palworld, and accused of infringing. Basically what they did is they claimed that they invented the way that you throw a ball to capture a monster in a game. Now, this is a ridiculous claim to make because there are games that existed with this mechanic that predate Pokemon even in 1995 when it first came out. In fact, Shin Megami Tensei had a method of capturing monsters. Throwing balls in games freaking predates, goes all the way back to the Olympics with the shot put in the Olympics. So therefore, the theory that you can patent the process of throwing a ball is ridiculous and stupid on its own right, because you're now claiming that you predate the Olympics going back thousands of years to invent a process when you never existed. So it's a basic existential claim that is just lunacy to make. So let's see what further claims exist in this title as I fire arrows at this mechanical abomination. Boom. His armor goes off, and I got it roasted in flame. But I'm in New Game Plus, so I have super high levels, so this is not gonna really affect me. Z level 42 reached. Anyways, the analyst described it likely that Nintendo's side actually played Palworld, identified which of its systems corresponded to the resistant patent families, and pinpointed the individual rights to obtain. Well, they would have had to have done that in order to demonstrate to the court that there was an infringement. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had any evidence of the infringement, and it would be a basic factual dispute being made, or refutation. As Nintendo as a result, Nintendo has a strong case. Well, no, they don't have a strong case. They're claiming that they invented the frickin' method of throwing a ball, which is a ridiculous claim to make. It's a lunatic claim. From a logical standpoint. But anyways, let's go back to this. The Patent Attorney Corporation, Sarisa, is quoted by the Nikkei Business Online edition as saying, while the outcome of the lawsuit is unclear, there's a certain game mod out there that could work in Palmod's favor. Now they're going to friggin' infer and use this as a segue to the GTA. The mod in question is a fan-made one designed to be a crossover between Pokemon and Rockstar's Grand Theft Auto 5. Aroshida does not specify the exact mod, but mentions that it was publicly released in 2016, which includes the mechanic of throwing a Pokeball-like objects at characters in the game to capture them. Given the description, this is likely referring to the elaborate mod inspired by Niantic's Pokemon Go. Now, this is going to constitute a problem for the Pokemon Corporation Nintendo because this is established precedent of a mechanic that existed before their patent registration. Not to mention that they can point out Atlas's Shin Megami Tensei and other games that use objects to capture monsters, as well as the or not the Pokemon Company, but the Pocket Pair could just revise their game mechanic to not include a ball to capture the monsters. They can, like how Temtem uses discards and freaking the whatchamacallit uses ghost traps or something. Nexamon uses the Nexo whatever as they call it, but it looks like a ghost trap more than a sphere. Although freaking that would put I believe Columbia Pictures in the position to go after Nintendo under the same premise because the film Ghostbusters, which I believe is owned by Disney now. Is it owned by Disney? I don't know who owns it, but somebody owns it. Whoever that patent or copyright owner is will just make the same claim against Nintendo. But anyways, meanwhile, as the patent rights are only valid in the country where they were granted, this specific lawsuit and potential effects on Palworld are regionally limited to Japan. That means the rest of the world can totally disregard Japan's ruling, and Pocket Pair could just sell their product in other countries. Based on patents currently pending approval overseas, analysts believe it's safe to assume that Nintendo and Pokemon Company are prepared to bring up a similar case in the U.S. They'll lose in the U.S. After January 20th, it's going to be Trump's world, and the USPTO is going to get an axe taken to it thanks to Elon Musk's Doji program. Good luck filing anything in Trump's world because the clown show is going to go into full swing. So yeah. I hope they don't plan on filing after January 20th because they're going to have to freaking be a dancing clown in the circus. But anyways, how stricter the U.S. Is, yeah, they're going to get nowhere in the U.S., especially with the political theater that's going on right now. And that is the news from the Palworld nonsense. And speaking on basic patent-related BS, the Game Awards DLC controversy is in full swing, where Jeff Keighley thinks it's a good idea to include game DLC in Game of the Year awards when the attached game already won Game of the Year in 2 years prior. But the Game Awards turned into the clown circus where Jeff Keighley's now trying to patent the word Game Awards, where he's going to face the same clown show that Nintendo's going to face when they come to the U.S. courts, when the political meltdown and the circus freak shows coming to the U.S. Government. You're not getting anything rammed through the courts when you got circus clowns dancing around in the government, making a mockery of the entire universe. And the controversy is going to become a multifaceted hydra, which is just going to drag the Game Awards into the ether bog of nonsense, and it's just going to turn into a freak show with the rest of the clownery that's going on. Jeff Keighley has not changed the rules on the DLC this year to allow Shadow the Erdtree to be nominated Game of the Year. He was accused of doing the exact same thing to Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, which was nominated for and won Best Ongoing Game Derision. I think they mean direction. I love typos in professional publications. It's just so professional. The rules have always been so flexible as to be pointless. I'm going to screen cap that and I'll put it on Twitter. There we go. The gamer, you are going to get tweeted. Anyways, Jeff Keighley's been blamed for changing the rules when in reality Keighley's distanced himself for the rules or opinions of all. The Game Awards have always been lax. Of course they have, because they have to be able to change the rules at whim to fit whoever is crying the loudest. You can nominate anything you like for the Game Awards. No, the jury nominates it for you. Freaking publications like Forbes and Rolling Stone and freaking people that don't know anything about gaming are picking your games. Would get her long enough that people voted for her. Kaylee would get her up on stage. That is an abomination of a sentence. Getting an award from Sydney Sweeney, or at least best debut. He's been accused of caring too much about who wins, wanting Elden Ring back. Yeah, this is just turning into a freak show. He wants certain things to be the thing, and not freaking. And his jury is totally biased. So, yeah, it's just clownery that's breaking out. So, we have to be aware of the circus that's going on. The awards are not a big part of the Game Awards, which is odd, considering their name. Well, how else are they going to make money unless they're plugging for their advertisers? I mean, the sponsors have to get stroked, otherwise they get no money. Yeah, who's going to fund this crap? Highly profitable commercials, a chance to rub shoulders with the celebrities. Yeah, the money has to come from somewhere, and they gotta grease the wheels to get the money. That's why 10% Game Awards, 90% on the knees getting the money. That's how that works. We've seen odd nominees before. Kaylee's attitude's always been, don't shoot me, I'm only the host, the organizer. No, you're the one that gets crucified when people don't like you, because you're the face of the Game Awards. So yeah, you're the one that's gonna take the stick when things go south, because you are the leader. That's how it works. That's how it's always worked. When you're the face of the whole thing, when people are angry, that's whose name they're gonna say when they come for you. We saw it with the aforementioned Phantom Liberty Best Ongoing category it did not belong in. Yeah, I mean, friggin' these Game Awards are totally mismatched from their categories, and it really doesn't mean anything. So, when Dave the Diver was nominated for Best Indie, despite being produced by billion-dollar corporation Nexon, yeah, I mean, that's not an indie game. That's at least AA or AAA. It drew a shrug from Kaylee. Of course, because his sponsors pay for everything. They don't give a crap. Why should he give a crap? Friggin' the peasants that freaking watch the Game Awards don't pay for anything. No, the sponsors do, and the sponsors don't care. So that apathy is going to be extended to Keeley, because that's who pays his bills. Unlike the Oscars, which frequently makes unpopular rulings to preserve the sanctity of the contest, the Game Awards is happy to let whatever happens happen. If Shadow of the Erdtree is up for Game of the Year or any category, it won't be because Kaylee changed the rules or desperately wanted it to happen. It will be because he doesn't care what happens wherever, and the large jury that votes with no communication or curation deemed on the DLC to be the best game. Yeah, I mean, nobody cares about anything because they're not paid by the people that care about the games or anything. They're paid by the freaking people that are doing the advertisements, the sponsorships, and stuff like that. They don't care who pays the Game Awards. They freaking want you to say their name over and over and over because they're running advertisements. So whoever wins the Game Awards, that doesn't matter. It only matters who's paying for what, where, when, how, and why. So that's the only thing that matters to these people. And it's the only thing that will ever matter to these people, and that's just the way things are. And that's the way that things won. The Game Awards is destined to be controversial this year. Of course it is, because it's got controversial titles. They snubbed well, they didn't really snub Palworld. Palworld couldn't be entered because it's not been released this year. Even though other freaking minor indie games have been released, like these stupid nobody games that nobody cares about, and they shouldn't even be there. But Wukong was nominated, and that's actually a good choice. But Shadow of the Erdtree shouldn't be there because it's not even a game, it's DLC. So it would be like friggin' if they nominated Frozen Wilds from this game to be Game of the Year when it's not. It's just a DLC. It's not actually Horizon. So I don't expect Kaylee to address this at the show. and don't think that I can say anything stay out of everything attitude will not watch the time. He'll be in a meat grinder. Well, he's going to be in the meat grinder because he's the leader, and that's the first person that gets sacrificed when things don't work. The Game Awards will be a new battleground. Well, yeah, of course it's going to be a battleground because he's patenting his name. He's pulling political theater in the Game Awards. He's turning it into a clown show and acting on behalf of the sponsors who don't care about anything to do with the games. They just care about making money off the sponsorships. He doesn't care. They don't care. The jury doesn't care. And the people that do care get screwed. So, I mean, that's the way it works. And they're eventually going to get replaced by people who do it better because that's how it always works. So, everything will be controversial at the Game Awards this year. Everything will be rigged. It won't be the regular disappointment at the lack of nomination for a favorite game. Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the way it's going to work because the money's going to come from the sponsors who don't know anything about anything. And they're going to say, freaking, yeah, we don't care, freaking, whatever happens. Just crap on everything. We're going to pay you regardless because just say our name over and over and over because we makes the money. And that's the way that it works. It's the way it's always worked. Alright, so disappointment for the lack of nominate. Yeah, I mean, I already said that. The broad jury's taste of nominating. The jury's taste of nominating doesn't mean anything because these people are journalists and freaking advertisers that don't know anything. They're idiots. They're idiots voting on freaking the shiniest rock that they think freaking looks good or whatever, but they don't know anything about it because freaking they're idiots. I mean, well, they're not exactly idiots. They're just in the wrong field. They're in the wrong place. And they're making decisions that they don't know anything about. If Black Myth Wukong and Stellar Blade got snubbed, I mean, freaking Stellar Blade should be there, but, you know, you can't have Stellar Blade because, you know, freaking TNA is just taboo. Are not nominated in every category. Yeah, I mean, they snubbed Stellar Blade. I mean, some will deem it as a personal insult and fire back in kind. Of course they will, because a lot of people like Stellar Blade, and a lot of people think that Stellar Blade should be Game of the Year. But freaking Jeff Keighley just turned around, bent them over the table, and said, "Screw you! You're gonna take what I want and not what you like," and that's gonna freaking piss people off and make people back away from the Game Awards because they're gonna feel like they've been slighted. Stellar Blade, on the other hand, is just quite not good enough. No, it's actually pretty good. It's like Nier Automata and a better version of Nier Automata. In fact, it's doing a crossover, adding 2B into the game and stuff like that. And it's actually an attractive version of 2B, unlike the other one that is like unspeakably an abomination. So I mean, yeah, they're going to snub Stellar Blade in favor of the safe options, the safe alternatives. They're going to sanitize everything for everyone's soft little palates. And they're going to stay away from the controversy because they're afraid of controversy and they don't want to push the line or they don't want to progress the realm in any sensible way. They just want to stay where they're at and just eternally circle jerk the filth that goes in a eternal line of self-consumption like an Ouroboros. What about Final Fantasy, Astrobots? What about Metaphor? Those are the safe alternatives. They think those are safe, and they think those are the things that can be safely touched without being contaminated with freaking assaults from opposition. What about Balatro? It's a card game. It's an indie card game that that a small group of people. I mean, it is popular on Steam, but it's not Game of the Year. It's quality or anything like that. It's not like it's not breaking the scales like Wukong or Palworld. It's just average. It's the safe alternative that they can seek. Again, Dragon's Dogma. It's not that great. It's a safe alternative because they want to stay away from the controversy of Stellar Blade. These people don't have opinions on games. They just like being mad. They're only people who ever cared about Dustborn on 09, and they paraded as if they bested Rob Stark. Yeah, and Hogwarts Legacy being snubbed. Yeah, they only care about their own little playpen, and they don't actually understand what quality is or what the general consensus in the plurality of the world think about. They only care about what they think about because inherently they're selfish. They care about their sandbox, and if they freaking want to rub their sand in other people's eyes, they'll do so, and then freaking claim, "Why don't you like it?" While freaking people are being offended and retaliating against them, and then they turn to the typical victimhood tropes of why are you attacking me because I attacked you, which of course is not a very good position to be in. And this was an article. Wait, there's comments. I'm looking forward to the 20-minute YouTube video summarizing the new announcements the day after. Well, 20 minutes is freaking good for freaking monetization, Paul. Freaking don't complain about 20-minute YouTube videos. That's a standard. In fact, this YouTube video is at 21 minutes and 17 seconds, Paul. Anyways, friggin' Williams says, my whole thing about it is I personally don't think a DLC should be eligible for overall award. I agree. Darian says, it's a travesty. Just another showcase of how the West... So, yeah, these people that are in the comments absolutely hate the concept of a DLC being nominated Game of the Year. Sales are not indicative of quality. Loads of pre-order based in China. I don't even think so. This guy's generating a freaking conspiracy theory because China had a large part in boosting sales. So the population of China went and freaking brigaded the sales to throw at the Game Awards, according to TG member. Okay, whatever. Freaking alien conspiracies are more logical than that. And let's see. TG member made another boost. Oh, this guy's throwing a temper tantrum in the freaking comments. Freaking, he's like spoiled freaking 5 comments. Thank you. This is Alpha. Have a nice day. This was Horizon gameplay. And remember, click link and subscribe, and click the notification bell and all those things.